Welcome to Manny's TV Talk, where we will talk about all of our favorite reality TV shows and news surrounding them. Grab a snack, a drink, and get comfortable because this starts now.
You don't know how to be loved or how to stand up for yourself.
Watch your
No. We're two different.
Watch your mouth.
No,
I'm
we're
not
two
afraid
different.
of you. Everybody
I'm not afraid.
I'm not afraid of you. You put people in the hospital.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to once again one more recap of the Real Housewives of New York season 14, the new era, part 2. So we pick up with this reunion with Jessel holding Aaron and Sai accountable for insinuating her husband was cheating on her because they hadn't been intimate due to her going through postpartum depression. Sai and Aaron have the nerve to say that they didn't insinuate that, which, like, come on. There was footage showing that they did. Andy asks Jessel, when you told them about your lack of intimacy, did you tell them about your postpartum and how it was tied to that? Which, first of all, Andy, ain't you the damn host? Like, how you not know what happened on the show? Jessel says, yes, I did, but now Aaron and Sai want to change their tone and say that, you know, it's very conveniently how they're all of a sudden realizing these things now. And they say that they had no idea about her IVF journey until seeing it on the show. And if they had known, they would have never brought it up, which I don't believe them. They say Sai is the one that says, she says, you can talk to us like we're friends. And I was just like, really, Sai? You think Jessel thinks you are her friend and she can talk to you? Remember, Jessel also called them cackling hags. Jenna had defended that at the time, and now Jenna is clarifying that her dad is British and she thinks it's a common expression. They also talk about the infamous Christmas tree green lingerie. I remember having such a different opinion about Jessel when this first happened, because it was at the very beginning of the season, but I still think she was pretty wrong on doing that, and she knows it. She apologizes once again to Jenna. Okay, but then we get to a good point. Sai and Aaron are asked about what the hell their problem is with Jessel sharing about her life, because it seems like for them, nothing she can say is okay. Aaron begins by saying that she wanted to know more about Jessel, not about her parents or relatives. And her second issue was that the other girls would share their stories about coming from nothing, being very poor, and Jessel did have some stuff. So for once in his life, Andy says something right, and he says, but why is it a competition? Jessel then says, well, first of all, I talk about my parents because that's who I am. Like, they made me. Because of them, I get the color of my skin, my culture, my language, my customs. And Sai, to make light of it, saying like, oh, in 1947, Jessel's parents came in the Mayflower. It's very offensive and belittling her existence. Then the vultures, Sai and Aaron, come at her saying, we're not belittling your story. You got to stop saying that. Andy says, well, that's how she felt. I think for us who are people of color who come from different cultures that are not white and American, we're always going to talk about our parents and when we talk about ourselves, because that's a big part of us. Sai says that watching back, she does see that they were coming across harsh. I'm glad she's aware of that because she screamed horribly at Jessel on that boat. They ask Jenna, and Jenna, she too is saying that she thought she disconnected because Jessel is not acknowledging the difference, that her uncle passing away is different than Sai's mom. She made me mad too, because everyone knows it's not the same. You know, you don't have to go across life every single time you're going to give a statement and put out a disclaimer. Like, it's ridiculous. And Ubah jumps in and says, you know, as Africans, uncles and aunts are literally like our parents. Sai says that she had just lost her mom, so I do understand that. But again, Sai is coming with a very different tone in this reunion and attitude, and she is apologizing to Jessel for how she did treat her, and Jessel is accepting. But Brynn, out of nowhere, she's like, why are you accepting all these apologies? They tried to rip you, they tried to rip your marriage. That not only made Jessel a little bit upset, but that made Sai pretty mad too, because they're trying to move forward in some way, but Brynn is like instigating. It was just weird. But anyway, Jessel has to again say that she didn't mean to compare her uncle to Sai's mom in any way. Then a question comes in about how Jessel, how did she have savings when she was 20 years old? And oh my gosh, once again, Karen is like, you didn't grow up poor. And it's like, why the hell does Aaron care? Because Aaron wasn't poor either. Like, she's weird as hell. Like, is she trying to project onto Jessel? And by the way, as someone who is 20, I have savings because I started working when I was 15. So it's not that uncommon. Like, come on now. And at the end of the day, this is the Real Housewives of New York. It's not the struggle Olympics of New York. Like, oh. But Erin apologizes for having doubts about Jessel's marriage, but she keeps apologizing, but then at the same time kind of throwing digs. So she is so ungenuine. Sai is also asked if she still thinks Jessel was lying about Pavit going to Vietnam. She says that, well, you know, Jessel did tell me he was going in a week, but he said that he didn't know, which, I mean, who cares? It's not that deep. So she's trying to apologize again, but Brynn once again comes with the jabs to Sai. So at this point, Sai has to scream like, stop, Brynn, it's not your husband. I'm apologizing to her, not you. So speaking of Sai, they take a look at her season package, getting to know her job as an influencer, her being hungry, and the sad story about her mom. So just sort of the non-drama things about her, more of her personal life. And after seeing that, that's where it's Sai's turn to talk about her mom, who dealt with alcoholism. I gotta say, I do feel very bad for Sai. She must have gone through a lot dealing with a mother like that when she was at such a young age. Her mom was homeless for a while. She lived in shelters. Sai would do her best to put her in good rehabs, but she kept getting in trouble. At some point, Sai had to take her mom to live with her because of the trouble she was getting in these rehabs. But the mom was like getting drunk in front of the kids and stuff. So her husband David said that she had to throw her out, which, damn, I don't know about that, because after kicking her out, 3 weeks later, she died. So Sai is like, is it my fault? This is so sad because obviously you can't keep someone toxic like that in your small town home, because people like that come to a point where you can't really help them. But to throw your own mother out, I don't know. I don't want to even get into that. But what I will say, last week I had mentioned that Brynn needs in like therapy ASAP. I think Sai does as well, and this is not like a jab or me throwing shade. Like, I'm being serious, because you can tell that they have certain problems that they haven't even touched on, and there's a lot of healing that needs to happen with them. So I hope they can do that. She never really told her kids about the problems that the mom had. They just sort of noticed that she was a little bit weird, but they did love to paint with her. Then Andy says, why are you always hungry, by the way? And she says that she's a vegetarian and lifts a lot of weight, so I get it. Andy mentions people didn't like that an influencer should be on the show, and she explains her job and the hard work that she puts behind it. The girls share some positive things about Sai to cheer her up, and they joke more about her being hungry, and she apologizes for being so rude. She must have read some comments before coming on, because she was very apologetic, and it kind of made me not dislike her so much. So then the season package is for Brynn. They see her scenes, her being very promiscuous, acting like a 304, but also some of her childhood trauma and her grandmother. So after watching that, she shares a little bit more about her rekindling things with her father for the last few moments of his life, which was a very good way for her to have closure with him. It was actually about 3 months that she got to spend with him before he died. She also talks about the great relationship she has with her brother, who's always there to protect her. They talk about the hair salon scene. She also says that from now on, when people go up to her and they ask her, what is your race? She will say that she's black because she feels it. That might be a little bit problematic. I saw Black Twitter. They were writing something about that. They were not too happy about that, because it's like, wait, what? Like, when because remember Kelly Dodd had also said, like, I'm black, so I don't know. But they switched to talk about her love life, or lack thereof. They focus on these engagement that she has, but I mean, she broke up all of them. And they focus on this Gideon guy who we saw him on the show, the British guy. She says that at this point he's like her hot cousin, and that she begins to talk about his private parts. It's same old. A little bit more jokes about her flirting with Jenna. They also ask her what really is her job, and she says that it's communications consultant, who she says she does advertising and stuff like that and marketing. I don't know, sounds a little bit Jen Shaw-ish to me. Then quickly though, on Brynn and Aaron's friendship, first of all, they acknowledge that Brynn definitely did say the word divorce to Abe multiple times, but they both say that they like each other and are probably very alike, all butterflies and rainbows. You would have expected them to go at it, but they were being like very friendly towards each other. And Ubah, she's keeping it real. She says, y'all are fake. Like, give me a bucket to puke. Like, you are not similar at all, and y'all talk about each other's back all the time. Both Aaron and Brynn were triggered by that, but they're pretending to be besties. So Ubah says, well, maybe Abe should, turn Muslim so he can marry both of them. The next subject they tap on is this damn Anguilla drama between the pool, the sunglasses, the phone, Aaron and Ubah. After seeing the scenes back, Andy insinuates that Ubah overreacted. He even says, who here thinks that she overreacted? And some of them do raise their hand. Ubah has to once again explain herself. She travels a lot for her job outside of the country where there is no cell service sometimes. So she tries to always send a message or something like that to her family members so they know that she's okay. And after all, she also has a business. We live in the year of our Lord 2023. We all know that our lives are in our phones. And Jenna and Aaron are trying to make light of what happened about them hiding the phone. Turns out Aaron actually had lied, because when they were all looking for the phone and Jessel had texted in the group chat, has anyone seen Ubah's phone? Aaron was sending emojis. The next day she claimed that she told him that she had the phone, but sending emojis isn't really telling them you have the phone. So that's also why Ubah got very upset. Of course, Aaron apologizes for the phone, but she says it was an ambush after the fact. And the parrot, Sai, agrees with her that the hot tub was definitely a takedown of Aaron. Aaron says that this was the worst conflict she's had in her life. But all Ubah wanted was for Aaron to give her phone right away. Then Brynn jumps in and says, whatever, who cares? Just use Find My iPhone and move on. So Ubah gets mad for the way that Brynn is, first of all, interrupting her, and second of all, dismissing her. They quickly touch on the fact that Ubah is African, so it's very easy for them to throw these dog whistles. Then they turn to the time that Jenna said, I got a side of Ubah hot. Because one day, Jenna invited Ubah to her house, but Ubah didn't know it was being filmed, so she didn't like that she wasn't told, because what if she would have came without makeup, which I don't get it. Maybe it's a woman thing. So Jenna is explaining herself, and once again, Brynn has to jump in and belittle Ubah. So at this point, Ubah says, listen, babe, maybe you don't know how to be loved. And in that moment, Brynn goes off, because that triggered her. I mean, I get it. She says, don't go there. This is the part that was a little bit weird, though. She says, don't F with me. I'm not afraid of you. Everyone else here is afraid of you, but let me tell you, I'm half black and half Irish. Huh? What does that have to do with anything? Could you elaborate on that, Brynn? I mean, for her to say, I'm half black, I'm half Irish, don't mess with me, that could also be a little problematic. But Ubah says, well, I am Somalian, so I will whoop your ass. But Brynn is talking about, I put people on funeral homes. Brynn, your dress looked like you were attending a funeral. But Ubah says, let me finish my conversation. Brynn says, that's not a conversation. She just kept interrupting, so Ubah has to yell, shut up. But she wouldn't shut up. They should have put a muzzle on Brynn, to be honest. I think that Ubah was getting frustrated and mad, not too much about the situation itself, but the way that they were treating her right there. But anyway, Jenna says that her saying Ubah hot was just a figure of speech. But then Ubah says that what really broke her heart was when she saw Jenna in her confessional say, I'm Team Aaron. It's not that she wanted her to say, I'm Team Ubah, but she simply felt like no one was on her side. And that's where she starts to cry and says, all I wanted was for y'all to be with me and have my back. And I can relate to that, you know, and they all sort of rally around her, and Aaron goes to hug her. And listen, I'm sure Ubah has her problems as well. She's not perfect, but I felt for her. So after talking about this, Jenna says, one more thing, Ubah, one question. Earlier you said people didn't want me on the show. What was that about? So Sai jumps in and says that they had hung out, her, Brynn, Aaron, and Ubah. Sai said that she didn't think that Jenna would fit into the group, not necessarily that she didn't want her on the show. I don't know if I buy that. But anyway, finally they bring some drinks for them, and they all say what is one thing that they saw about themselves. Sai says that she learned she needs to listen to others and be more empathetic. Jenna says she's still learning to be a girl's girl. Erin says she's going to lighten up and not talk too much. Jessel says that she sees that she should be more gentle to her husband and focus more on her relationship with him, not necessarily just be comfortable. Brynn says that she has enjoyed watching everything, and Ubah says she should warn people before turning into Ubah hot and not react too much and too fast, and she really loves the group. They cheers, Jenna kisses Brynn again, and just like that, the new Real Housewives of New York is over. Now that it's over, can I please say what in the words of Ramona,
Thank God.
I'm sorry, but thank God it's over. I'm really glad that the show is over. It's not that I didn't enjoy it. I did, especially towards the end. I would say like the last 4 to 5 episodes did have me a little bit more hooked in than the beginning. Maybe it's because these are brand new women and it takes a while for us to get connected with them. But I'm glad that the show is over. If I had to say what I wanted for next season, I would say goodbye to Jenna and goodbye to Sai. Thank you so much. I'm sure you're wonderful people and I wish you all the best, but I think it's time for them to leave. Keep Aaron, Ubah, Brynn, and Jessel, and go ahead and bring back Dorinda, Luann, Sonia, and just incorporate it, because I don't think this show will last if they keep these same women. Even if we do see them evolve, there's just something about them that I feel like the majority of the audience is not connected. We'll definitely watch, but I don't know. So the question is for you guys, what should happen next season? Should they bring back the exact same group? Should they get rid of some, bring some new ones? Or like I said, incorporate some of the OGs? Let me know what you think about that. And what were your thoughts about the overall second part of the reunion? And don't forget, you guys, next Sunday, the Real Housewives of Potomac is going to be returning. So don't forget to like and subscribe, because we're going to be here talking about that, you know? So you guys have a great one, and I'll catch y'all next time. Bye.